Frozen steam covered the front windows as I reached for the handle of the door. Upon pulling it open, I was warmly greeted by the aroma of freshly baked pizza dough. Stepping inside the Italian kitchen on a cold February night meant my glasses would fog up. The year was 1975, and I was 16. Glancing around the room, many sights were familiar. Near the back of the pizza shop, at a table to the right of the counter, sat Mr. Avanzato and Mr. Rossi. They were having their usual heated discussion, in Italian, at a staccato pace. I always wondered what the hell they were so excited about. A white plastic menu board hung above the counter with the standard list of pizza, pasta, and salad offerings in black plastic letters. Tony Avanzato stood behind the bright orange countertop with his usual grin. "Hey, Big Tom," he said. "How's it going, Tony?" I answered. "I guess I'll get 2 slices of cheese and a small root beer." Tony turned to a silver pizza platter and separated the pizza slices, spun to his right and opened the giant Blodgett pizza oven door. Carefully, he slid the 2 slices inside and slammed the door. Just then, there was a loud ring. Tony picked up the black wall phone. "Italian kitchen," he said into the receiver. While he took the phone order, he stepped to the soda fountain, grabbed a small red and white Coke wax paper cup, and stuck it under the root beer tap. While the foam settled on the top of the drink, Tony set it in front of me on the counter. This ritual had become so routine, I barely noticed that there was something different about the room. When Tony finished taking the phone order, I asked, "So, what happened to the $6 million man pinball machine?" Tony looked at me and said, "Pain in the ass to maintain and didn't make much money." "I hear you," I replied. "So what is that thing?" I pointed to the front of the room, to the left of the Seaberg jukebox. There was a strange-looking table with 4 handles on either side. The top of the table was about 3 feet off the ground, about 4 feet long by 2.5 feet wide. "Table football, you know? Foosball," exclaimed Tony. "You stick around tonight, Big Tom. I'll show you a real game." With that, I approached the jukebox with quarters in my hand. It's not like I needed to look at the selections of songs. I already knew them by heart. B7, the Doobie Brothers, China Grove. F3, War, Cisco Kid. And S18, Argent, Hold Your Head Up. Just as I was settling down to my pizza with the first guitar notes blaring, the front door of the Italian kitchen sucked out with a mad rush of cold air. In walked 2 of my closest friends from the old Oneonta neighborhood, Ralph Rossi and Dickie Bryant. "Scene, scene, scene!" Dickie yelled at me. Ralph followed with, "Sino!" The nickname they used for me I had earned a few years earlier. It happened when I called the Rossi residence to speak with Ralph. His father, who spoke with a thick Italian accent, had answered the phone.
"Hello?"
I said, "Hi, is Ralph there?" The next thing I heard was Mr. Rossi yelling to his son,
"Hey, Ralphie boy, it's your friend, Tomo Robertino."
This happened enough times, so they just shortened it to Sino. Hearing my nickname, I replied with my mouth full of pizza. "Dick, Rafi, what's going on?" When they approached the table, I detected the not-so-faint aroma of cannabis. Yeah, it was just another night on Church Street. We exchanged the usual, "you're not gonna believes," or "you shoulda seens." Then they both ordered up pizza to take off the chill and the munchies. Later that night, Tony was done cleaning up and wanted us to try out the new foosball table. He called it a Bonzini table football game. The 4 of us gathered round this blonde wood table with light green playing surface which reminded me of an industrial floor covering material. 8 rods were mounted above the playing surface to which metal players were mounted, each evenly spaced from the other. One team was painted with blue jerseys, the opposing team with red. Tony had played the game while he still lived in Italy. He instructed us to take the positions of defense, the 2 handles to the back, and the offense, the 2 handles at the front. Once we were in position, the first thing Tony tried to teach us is that it's against the rules to spin the rods. Making the players rotate more than once is cheating. The object is just like real soccer. Hit the ball into the opposing team's goal. Just figuring out how to do this and not spin the rods is not easy. This first match, at least for me, was pretty awkward. Even though it's a steep learning curve, I didn't know it at the time, but this game was going to get under my skin for life. During the following months, we often gathered at the Italian kitchen to play for hours on end. Through the rest of high school and college, I never drifted far from foosball, sometimes playing 4 or 5 nights a week. Then, life happened. I discovered women, landed a full-time radio job, and moved on. Flash forward 35 years, and I had all but forgotten my foosball obsession. Then, my neighbor purchased a semi-professional table called the Tornado Foosball Table for his basement. Since then, I've been reintroduced to the game of foosball for the 21st century. Even though the game is much more sophisticated these days, I play at least once a week competitively and have rekindled my obsession. Who would have thought that one snowy night in 1975 at the Italian Kitchen would give me such a fulfilling lifelong gift?